So the first thing that we're going to be talking about today is this current market.
Indulge.
No.
I was going to say we could talk about interest rates or we could talk about less competition.
Let's get warming the waters up a little bit over there.
Maybe
so
pros and cons of.
I'll talk about interest rates since I brought it up. I do want to say they are increasing, but historically, looking at interest rates were higher at a point like that. And also, I just make sure that you choose the right realtor because they work with people who come tenured, and we look for the lowest rates not only for you but for everyone else.
Well, there's a lot of different mortgage packages that are out there, and a veteran realtor would have access to more information.
Absolutely, yeah. There's definitely things that you can do to avoid having to pay the higher interest rates, which he was saying isn't necessarily higher. We were just spoiled because they wanted to encourage everyone to buy homes. Now we're kind of getting back to a more normal interest rate.
Ashley, you bring up a really good point. It's like people are mad because they're not on sale anymore, but you knew they were on sale and you knew the sale was going to end.
Yes.
But buying a house is always an investment. So are you ready to invest in yourself is the question.
I don't know if I'm going to call buying a house an investment. I don't know about that because, you got to live somewhere. That's what I'll always say. So, I guess it's an investment in your quality of life because I prefer owning my property to renting something because when I own something, it's mine. Yeah. And I don't mean like I own it with a mortgage. I mean like I actually own it.
Well, what do we say? Like renting is like driving down a highway and throwing your cash out the window.
Yeah. You know that here in the city we live in Michigan, we were in Ann Arbor. I've noticed, and maybe you all agree with this too. This is just, I've been a real estate agent here for almost 20 years. And so I've worked with a lot of people and I'm not at a low level. I'm in the top 5 percentile. And what I'm noticing is that it costs $500 more to rent than it does to own. Like if I own that property, it's $1,700 a month, but if I'm renting it, it's like more like $2,200. That's like it's across the board. It's always like
yeah, because at the end of the day, you're still paying a mortgage. It's just you're usually paying somebody else's mortgage unless the landlord has owned it for a while. So
well, then we have less competition as well. So talking about mortgage rates, this and the other, we don't want to make the people feel bad. So let's talk about how we could use these high interest rates in.
I don't even want to talk about interest rates anymore.
Well, let's talk about the competition. Let's talk about the shift.
Well, hold on. Let me tell you why I don't want to talk about interest rates anymore. I don't want to talk about interest rates anymore because people don't buy houses when they're on sale and they don't buy houses when they're expensive. Like nobody was scared to go out and buy a house when they were super expensive. Everybody's like, I'm so happy. I just, I got a house. And then when I worked in the real estate market in 2000 and let's say 9 or 10, when things were dirt cheap and you could get a house in Ann Arbor for like $110,000, which is absolutely unheard of. Try $310 now, So when Europe. So we can get a house for $110,000. People were saying, "Oh, I don't know if I should buy a house. The prices are so low. The housing market." I'm like, how much lower do you think it's gonna get? Like, it's gonna come back up, but it just.
It doesn't.
Interest rates aren't going to affect because people are going to buy houses for other reasons. They're going to buy a house because they got married. They're going to buy a house because they had kids. They're going to buy a house because they need a place to live. They're going to buy a house because they just enjoy home ownership.
Exactly.
Some people don't know what it's like to rent. They're like, why would I ever rent? Like you said, what did you say about?
Well, throwing it out the window, yeah. And if we get back to the conversation of just, it being more normal interest rates instead of like higher, because if we look at how high they've been over history, we really are getting back to more normal rates, if you will. So that way, it kind of shifts the conversation that we're having. It makes it less scary.
Yeah.
When I bought my first house, I think it was 2002, 2005, I don't remember. And but the interest rates were at about 7%.
Yeah.
So when the interest rates were on sale for 3%, and I think I bought 2 houses during that time when they were dirt cheap. When that happened, it the whole time I was thinking, well, even if how you do the mortgage calculator online, even if it's 7%, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I would look at it like, okay, this is how much I'm paying a month at 3%, but even if it's 7%, I'm okay because I knew it was a temporary situation. So back to reality.
Yeah.
You still need a place to live. Guess what? Your rent is going to go up because the person who just bought that property that you're going to rent from, they're paying more in their interest rate. So they're going to expect you to pay more for your rent.
Yeah.
Absolutely
So
not.
it's kind of over. Like the price of food and the price of housing are going up. So how do you stop inflation? How do you cap it? You buy a house and you lock in the monthly price. Like you're done here. They can't change anymore. They can't say, oh, you've been here for a year. We're raising your rent $200, $100, $350, $500. We're selling it. Move out.
Yep.
Because that's my house.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. No,
Then you get to
100%.
decide, you get to decide what to do.
So here we are.
Yep. I don't have to ask for permission to paint. I didn't even talk about that.
So
I guess
can't.
that was definitely touching on interest rates raising, but I guess, one good thing about that is because it's a scarier thing, there are a lot less buyers in the market right now, which means that instead of writing 7 to 10 offers, and maybe missing out, you now aren't going up against properties that have we had 75 offers on some listings
You mean I
at
don't
some
have
point.
to write an offer that's $75,000 above list price? Yeah, I'm talking
with
about
an appraisal
the house
gap
that I
and
sold.
but we can actually get more benefits for buyers now. We can get credits, which we can use to buy down points, which will take interest rates down. It definitely makes buyers a lot more competitive right now.
Correct.
Just with the shift.
well, interest rates are what they are. They're not important. So let's talk about the season that we're in. We're in fall right now. So let's talk about shopping in the fall because we don't want it to seem scary. Let's talk about it. We can because we can talk
What
about
are
it.
the best things about shopping for a house in the fall? Like our favorite conversation, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Talking about less competition
Less
now. That's what
competition
we're
now.
saying.
So let's
That's
talk
the
about-
benefit. So
By definition, Ashley, could you tell us what market value is?
well, the true definition of market value is is what a buyer is willing to buy for and a seller is willing and able to sell for. So that goes on both ends. Buyer willing and able, seller willing and able.
It's the backbone of a capitalistic economy. You know that, right? That's like free market enterprise. Like you just define the way that our entire economy is structured. Every price, everything that we do, the value is determined by what a buyer is willing to pay and a seller. So there's nobody setting our prices. How like in another country, they'd be like, well, this apple costs $5 because we just said that's what apples cost.
Well,
No, we definitely decide what it is.
And
And that's why
that's-
we have realtors to help get us to that common ground, because that's always
yes. With the help of
It's
realtors,
negotiable.
not by ourselves.
And right. Well, I mean,
know that
look, when
part.
I buy and sell a house as a realtor, I employ a realtor because it's like
Yes,
a lawyer
you
should
do.
represent themselves in court.
I
you
can
know?
vouch for that. Yes.
We
We've
all
worked together for
have,
8 years and I've seen it every single time.
and we all have people that we consult with. Like maybe we don't hire a realtor, but we're definitely gonna take somebody to the house with us or get a second opinion or make sure
Something I want to go back to talking about, which I think,
'Cause
we're
we're
talking
let
about
me-
shopping right now. So we're also talking about like benefits for why it's okay to make a move in the fall and not wait, till after winter and wait till spring. So like we talked about was less competition. And what that means for you as a seller is you have less competition that you're going up against. So,
As well as a
buyer,
buyer,
and
too.
also buyers have less competition. So they're more ready and willing to, come back out of the woodworks and be like, hey, okay, we're not going to get beat out so crazily. So let's take a dabble at getting a house for us because we still have to move. So
And I also just want to piggyback on that. So I mean, this may seem like kind of like quote unquote immature, but my grandma always taught me the worst thing that anyone can tell you is no. So always
definitely
ask,
true in real
always
estate.
ask, always ask, because the worst they
Yeah.
can ever tell you is no, and that's okay.
yeah. So then, getting back to, obviously we're talking about shopping because we love talking about shopping. So why is it a benefit to be a buyer and shop in the fall? Like
well, the sellers
What
are
are my
motivated
things?
because
Yeah.
they feel like they missed the market because they think that the majority of the market is in the spring.
homes look beautiful in the fall.
They
Snow
do. They
hasn't
look
fallen
super
yet.
pretty.
So
Yeah.
You have
Yep.
time to basically not.
Use-
I don't want to. So in real estate, time is of the essence.
Yep.
But
Right.
You don't have as much pressure as we saw
No.
previously, where like.
No, you
can-
had to make your host like you're standing inside of the house and you're looking at your real estate agent and you're like, okay, so can we write the offer for this house and can you submit it in the next 35 minutes on this person's peninsula? Again, the difference between a veteran agent and somebody who's brand new. Because somebody who's brand new is like, no, I mean, I have to go to my office and my comfy space and get in my mindset.
We do it on the car hood.
You know,
send it before we even leave the showing.
I'm like, where's my computer?
Hotspot it up.
Yeah, don't let it not work. If it doesn't work, I'm looking at my clients like, I know you got a hotspot.
Don't we have two?
Tim Hortons.
We have 2 hotspots and Xfinity Wi-Fi.
You have on Xfinity too. Yeah. I'll be calling the listing agent. What's the Wi-Fi in the house? No, we're not gonna not do it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna but it's not like that in the fall. In the fall, you might actually get to sleep on it. Like you might get to think about it overnight.
Having some time to.
So there's 2 other things that are really good about buying a house this time of year. One of the things is that the weather is shifting. So sometimes you might be in a situation where there is a lot of snow and things like that. So nobody wants, or the snow, rain, the sleet,
a little.
or
we get that like this kind of roller coaster weather because we're in Michigan.
Or you live in Michigan, right?
The weather is so temperamental that sometimes people just don't want to go out. So that would be a really good day to go shopping for a house because again, back to the first point, you have less competition, and this is one of the ways. Yeah. But
see, I thought you were leading into having but I thought you were leading into like doing inspections. Though, like when you do inspections, you have snow, you have rain, and you get to see it in a little bit more elements and stuff like that. So, I love going to inspections in bad weather.
You are so right.
Knee-high hunter boots, thank you.
Yeah, 2 pair in my car.
Yep, always in the trunk. Okay, now we can have the last part because
the best reason to buy a house this time of year is because who doesn't want to buy a house for Christmas?
Yes. Hello. We'd be closing right around Christmas if you started shopping.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I just want you for my own. With a key in my hand, thank you.
The house.
Yes, I don't come with the house, by the way. Thank you. Oh, I should know.